Hello, it's Peter, and I am back again this week with a Biz Buzz video segment. On this week's Biz Buzz segment, I talk with Colleen and KZ a little bit about book talk. As a quick reminder, these Biz Buzz segments come from our blank page to Bestseller podcast. So if you enjoy listening to podcasts, please be sure to check out the show anywhere you get podcasts. Also, if you enjoy the video segments of the Biz Buzz like we have here, please be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment on one of our videos and let us know what you want us to talk about in future Biz Buzz segments. We always enjoy hearing what you and what other authors and writers and other people in the publishing industry have to say about writing and publishing. So, without further ado, I'm going to hand it off to myself to get us into the Biz Buzz segment on Book Talk.
And welcome to this week's Biz Buzz. This week, I am joined with Colleen and KZ, and we're going to cover a little topic called book talk. Now, what is book talk? We're going to cover what book talk is, but it is basically a readers and writers community that is found on TikTok, the video platform TikTok. Um, I'm going to real quick say that I am not a huge TikTok user, so I don't actually, I'm not a participant in the book talk community. However, I do know the importance of book talk and why writers and readers might want to check out what book talk is. Let me first start off and just kind of hand it over to KZ, who is going to be our little MC for today. So, KZ, what do you have about TikTok or book talk in general?
Well, I love the way you positioned it, Peter. You said a little topic. TikTok itself is a huge topic. We know
Mhm.
this. It is something that is talked about in all the national news and the international news, and it's somewhat controversial, but it's also here to stay. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, regardless of whether or not you trust the platform. Um, it's there and it's being
Mhm.
used and it's successfully being used. I
Mhm.
love that writers have taken it and other creatives have taken charge of their own part of this and created something called book talk. I think it's amazing. And I admit, like you, Peter, I'm not a big user. I'm not a part of the community. Not because I think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's a great option.
Mhm.
However, I have not yet gotten there yet. I just haven't managed to get there, and I will eventually. I'm sure most of us will eventually. But I think that maybe one of the things I'd like to do is kind of play devil's advocate here um, and ask either of you why. Why would you, as a writer, why would you, as a publishing professional, want to join Book Talk? What do you think is in it for you?
Well, I'll start off and say that, um, at least from my experience and my research, I think a lot of the book talk community is really driven by the readers. So that's why you would want to be on TikTok to begin with as a writer, because it gives you a connection to your readers. And I think some of the better content out there comes from the readers reviewing the books themselves and having fun with it. I saw, oh man, it's been a few years ago now, but there was a trend on TikTok where people were dressing up as their favorite Harry Potter characters, talking about the books, or um, other not quite book like reading reviews, but different ways that readers were engaging with the content and making um, making the books and the characters and the stories come to life through their videos. So, as a reader, you're doing that, but as a writer, it's good to see what other people are reading, to how people might be engaging with your book, and then also what some of the big topics are in writing in today's reading world.
That's awesome, Peter. I agree with you totally. And bringing in the reader, that is exactly why. Essentially, writers do follow readers. That's what we do. I mean, it as much as we love to write, there is definitely an element that if no one reads it, then it's not quite the same. Colleen, what do you think?
Well, I was going to talk about engaging, how to create some engaging content on book TikTok, and that's something I was going to talk about. Is that book recommendations and reviews are important, but the thing is, instead of really directly just promoting your own book, you can create content where you review and recommend books from other authors in your genre. And what this does is that you can share your favorite or not so favorite reads, kind of like Peter was saying, from other genres within your audience, with your audience. And then this positions you as an active member of Book Talk and increases your visibility on the platform. And then you can also, at different times, slip in your own recommendations for your own book, but it's showing you that you're interested in these other genres or other books, and can make fun of, not fun of it, but have fun doing that type of thing and providing that type of information. So it's not just all about you.
That's great. Oh, that's a great tip on the content and tying it back to the readers and the audience, and making a point. I think that both writers and readers are audience. Everybody's an audience on Book Talk. That's really cool. Let me kind of twist this just a little bit. I want to come back to the talking about content in a little bit, but I want to twist this just a moment. Let's talk about the platform.
Mhm.
Okay, Book Talk, TikTok, and other similar products work because they are on the mobile platform. They're on people's smartphones. So that's probably why I'm not on it, is because I use my phone as a phone. Okay. But so many do not. And let's just address that. Is if you are someone who's using your phone as a smartphone, which the majority of people do, does it just make sense for you to be on Book Talk?
I think if you're already using your phone as I mean, just look at the number of different platforms now that use video. I mean, you have YouTube and you have their shorts, you have Instagram and their reels, you have TikTok and their videos. They're all different forms of that vertical video, and vertical video is like so huge right now, because everyone who is under, let's just say, 25 years old is watching all of their videos vertically on their phone. So if you're I think it's really, really important if that's the age group, that's the demographic you're looking for. If you're looking for anyone in their mid 20s or younger, they're no longer millennials, guys. We're I'm a millennial and I'm much older than that. But the Gen Zs or the Gen A's, I guess, is the next one coming after that, if they've made a decision on what they're calling them. But yeah, those are the people that you're gonna reach when you're using TikTok and Book Talk.
So we're talking about essentially the future, and the future is here. That's what it amounts
Oh,
to. So
exactly. Yeah, I think I was reading through some stats about it, and I want to say, and I don't have it quite in front of me, so don't
well,
come back to
we'll
me and
keep
tell me that
yeah.
I'm wrong. But there's something like I want to say it was close to like the book talk trend on TikTok. The hashtag has got something like 30 billion views. And I mean, so that's a lot of views to begin with. But like I said, if you're gearing your content to people who are on the phones and using it, they're the 18 to 24, 25-year olds. So that's a lot of views from the people that have some money to spend.
That's awesome. And I have to say also, Peter, and I do believe your numbers. I trust them. They are probably correct. It's amazing the number of people who are viewing these platforms. I have to say that the other generations are there. Okay, what happens is, and this is pretty typical, and I think it's happening here. Yes, the under 25s are leading this because that's their they were that's how they've grown,
Mhm.
is to have some sort of digital device in their hands. However, those of us who come to the digital devices from the other side, we follow them because
Mhm.
they're making the trends.
Mhm.
So yes, we will. Everyone at some point who is interested in marketing their particular product, and that is what we're talking about here, is making your book your business. You are going to want to find a way to participate in book talk or whatever the current trend is. Now, that means making the content. And Peter, you brought up a good point. Vertical video.
Mhm.
Okay, if you're looking at television, if you're looking at a computer screen, you're looking at horizontal video. Okay, vertical video is what people create on their cell phones.
Mhm.
And Colleen, you were going to talk about some content. Is that one of the points you were going to discuss? Is the fact that video is vertical sometimes?
I wasn't going to talk about that today, but I can. However, not just talking about book TikTok. LinkedIn has a vertical videos that you can put into your profile picture. So that could be a discussion for a different day.
Oh, cool. Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
So but Peter, anything else you want to say about the vertical format?
Well, I just think that I remember back in the day when people made fun of you if you recorded a video vertically because
Yeah.
it lost so much of the width of it, and that's where everyone was watching was on the original YouTubes and the original even the just the platforms that had video on their website was all the horizontal video, and you would be made fun of on the internet if you were recording vertically, but now so much is recorded vertically. And there's so many tools now that help you um, edit your vertical video and video in general. Like I know some of the big things on TikTok are the transitions and the filters and all of the extra stuff that's on top of the actual video that's recorded, and that's so big to make your video visually appealing to the people who are watching it. I know it's not quite a direct correlation, but it's kind of interesting. I heard somewhere that in movie theaters, like movies and cinema and new TV shows, there's an average what do you call it? Not an average scene or a cut in a movie is like less than 2 seconds now. So
Wow.
think of that. I mean, if you're using your video on TikTok where everything's moving quick and fast, you're gonna have to make some, good cuts and some good transitions and some good filters and slides and everything like that. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's important to stay up to date with those trends.
Yeah, definitely, Peter. And the speed is definitely, everything is faster when you're dealing with this format. I don't want to keep going on with this necessarily, but I do want to add this about the vertical format, and that is your you as a writer, you as as someone who is addressing this and considering whether to use book talk for your business. Um, Look first at how you can explore that using your phone. Okay. And then you don't have to do it all yourself. The content that you create was going to be in that format. And it is not, even the professionally produced content is not, produced in such a way that it doesn't look professionally produced. They like that raw, unedited thing. They like the fact that it's fast, it's fast moving, and concepts are short, quick grabs, and they like the music. So,
Mhm.
Colleen, what kind of tips do you have for someone who is looking to put some content into that format?
Well, here's something I researched, and it's talking about behind the scenes, and it said offer behind the scenes look at your writing process when you're doing these videos. You're providing this information. share your journey, share your challenges or the successes that you worked with when it came to your book, the whole process, whatever you feel like sharing. But this is a really nice personal connection that can help you build or help the authors build a strong bond with their ideal audience. And that's probably going to make them more apt to support your work and follow you, because people want to know. They don't want to just know all the good things that happen and whatever. There's challenges that come with writing a book. There's a lot of successes too, but knowing that journey, I think that's where a lot of authors get confused about that journey. So that was one I was going to talk about. And then another thing, where if you involve your audience, say you ask them questions, what you can do is bring your your characters to life by filming like Q&A sessions. So respond if you ask your audience questions as though you were the character in the book. And then what it'll do is generate interest and curiosity about your story. And that could prompt the viewers to check out the source material. And then even you can add costumes for fun. Like I think Peter was talking about that earlier, where people were doing was it Star Wars or Star Trek costumes when they were talking about a book. So I think that that's a fun thing to get the people involved and really want to go back and be interested in what you have to say.
Those are great tips. Those are great tips. I think it was Harry Potter Peter mentioned.
Oh,
but,
sorry.
You know what? They probably have done Star Trek and Star Wars too. Yeah, no issues there.
And let me add on part of that too. You were talking about like the behind the scenes stuff. I know one of the trends recently has been like a day in the life of videos.
Oh,
And
cool. Yeah.
so it's like people who are famous or who are athletes or who are, even just regular old people get up and film these 2-minute videos throughout their day of what a day in the life of whoever they are. So that's good. But I think that kind of leads to another just tip is to stay on top of what the trends are. So you're, on top of what's happening now and you don't get stuck in the past, which could only be a week or two old, but in digital world, that's pretty quick, pretty long time.
And can I add a question here just for viewers and for so really, if you take that video, that vertical video, and it's on TikTok, but that's your video, so you could actually make a short in YouTube, correct, and other places, so that it's not just on TikTok.
Yeah, for sure. If you have the video, it's yours. You can go ahead and put it wherever it works. I think I want to cover just really, really tangentially here is a lot of this is also similar to what Bookstagram was a few years ago. And I don't know exactly which came first, but they're very kind of similar ideas. And so yeah, the content you have on one platform can be used in many different platforms. Like I said, I think there's vertical video on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Those are the big major ones. But yeah, any of those places you can go ahead and repost and reshare and connect with new people.
Sure. Even on your websites, you can reuse it. I mean,
Mhm.
it's actually a good format on a website. It is to put the video in the vertical. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So
For sure.
I think we've covered it pretty thoroughly. We've exposed both our knowledge and our lack of knowledge in the platform. But that's the fun here is we're learning as we go along as well. We have a lot of experience between us, but we are still learning, and that is the beauty of this industry and the technology that we work with is that there's always something new coming out. And this one is new, but it's not so new as to be scary anymore. It's with us to stay, I think, Peter. Any last thoughts, guys?
No, I think we covered what book talk is in a very general sense. Just because we are talking video, I do want to once again plug our YouTube channel, which will have all of our Biz Buzz segments uploaded there. What we're doing right now is we're going and adding each week's Biz Buzz And then I am also going back into the vault, if you will, and starting from the very beginning, adding a second Biz Buzz until we get caught all the way up with where we're at now. So in the next month or so, we should have all of the Biz Buzz videos up on YouTube, and they'll be there for you to watch and listen to um, whenever you can. So go ahead. I'll have the link of the about the sorry, I'll have the link for our YouTube page in the comments in the show notes down below.
What a fantastic resource that is, Peter. And thank you for all the work you do in putting this together.
Yeah, it's been fun working with video. It's not vertical yet. Shorts are coming soon.
All right, we'll hold you to that. Peter, back to you and closing up, I think.
Yeah, so I think, like I said, we've covered a good overview of what Book Talk is. I guess one final thing that we haven't really talked about, but I did come across is what genre book talks usually cover. Have either of you seen any research on this?
No, I haven't, but I'm thinking fiction, or yeah, fiction is what my brain is going with, but
Mhm.
I'll look that up and check it out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll just
I think that's another biz talk, biz buzz.
Yeah.
yeah. So I'll leave it with that. Do some research on what genres are coming up on Book Talk a lot. So it was great talking with both of you today, and we'll be back next week with another Biz Buzz topic.